Hello, 0900 math students. Today we're going to do a typical example of proportions. This is 4-4, and I don't have any videos yet for the other parts of this, but this will review pretty much everything you need to know about proportions, rates, and ratios. So here we go. Looking at this question, it talks about the policy of a hotel having 19 desserts for every 16 people if a buffet is being served. If the Saturday buffet has 320 people, how many desserts do they have to have? This is a classic example of how you use a proportion. So let me just write over top of this problem a little bit, because we're going to identify the key things you need to know. First of all, 19 desserts. I'm going to circle that one in purple, and then the other one here in blue, I guess. So it says 16 people. So 19 desserts for every 16 people. And then it says if you have 320 people, how many desserts do you have to have? So you can see that I color-coded those strategically. So you can see the desserts are in purple, the people are in blue, and we're going to have to set up a proportion here. So I'm going to go ahead and leave those marked like that. And I'll do all the work here in red, I guess. So when you set up a proportion, it is one fraction equaling another fraction, like that. I like to do this. Numerator, denominator, numerator, denominator. There's like 4 spots. There's one here, one here, one here, and one here. And we'll get rid of that. So you just have to basically fill in the blanks with what you know. So you look at the first rate, and it says 19 desserts for 16 people. So we're going to write, and I'll do this in purple, 19 desserts, and I'll abbreviate DES, for 16 people. All right, now, if you've been zoning out, unzone yourself and listen to this right here, because it's the most important thing. When you set up the right side of this proportion, 2 fractions equaling each other is called a proportion. In this case, it's 2 rates because the units are different. Okay, that's what makes a rate different than a ratio. In a rate, the units are different. So we got 19 desserts, 16 people. Before you even mess with this 320 people part, come over here and write desserts and label this, pre-label it. If you do this, you won't miss it. People who miss this do not do this step, and I think it's so important. So now we know where to put our information. So look at what we have in the second sentence. It says if the Saturday buffet has 320 people, how many desserts must be available? So the question is, where does the 320 go? Well, it's 320 people, so it has to go down here. So now we don't know how many desserts we have, so most people will put an N right there, or an X, or whatever. So we got N desserts. And you can see, I'm going to make a note here, so I'll put a little star. The units must match on the tops and bottoms. So people on bottom, people have to be on bottom here. Desserts on top here, desserts on top there, because the fractions are equal to each other. That's the thing. This is an equal sign. Desserts, people, desserts, people. That will tell you how to set that second fraction up. So the strategy on proportions is you find the ratio on the first part, 19 desserts for, or the rate, I guess in this case, 19 desserts for 16 people, set up your first fraction, and then because the units are the way they are, that tells you how to set the second one up. Now, how do we solve this thing? Well, we go through a thing called cross multiplying. So we're going to multiply this way and this way. All right. So we got 16 times n. That is, and here's our equal sign. That's going to be 16n. And over here we have 19 times 320. So we're going to work that out. 320 times 19. And I don't have a calculator on me, or I would do this. See, 27, 28, 0, 0, 2, 3. I'm rushing here. Try to be careful. So 6,080. 6,080. And this, now we have to solve this. And a lot of people get bent out of shape because they say, oh, this is algebra. What? Yeah, of course it's algebra. This is no different than this problem right here. It's like 2 times what number equals 12? Well, n has to be equal to 6, because what you do is you divide both sides by 2 and get 12 over 2, which is 6. So we are going to divide by the number next to the variable. A fancy word for that is called a coefficient. And that is spelled right. That is I before E, after C, whatever. And that is true. We divide both sides by 16. We divide by the number that's next to the variable. So this cancels, leaving us n equals. And if you do this right, and you divide 16 into 680, and you guys can use your calculator, you're going to get 380 desserts. So 380 desserts. So to review, make sure that you follow this rule right here. The units match on the tops and on the bottoms. Have a good one.